I don't know, maybe I'm being over dramatic, but it just feels like I'm the only person in the world that just doesn't like the Nike Lebron 17 lows. I mean, they're just not for me. And I get really sort of hit when I review these shoes for the channel. I mean, the biggest ones were, I think there was the breads that I said that I didn't like, and people were like, man, you're way off, you're wrong, people said. And I was like, I'm not wrong, I can't be wrong about my own opinion. But I've looked at a ton of these guys, you know, in the low and in the high, and I still just don't really Now, some of them I think are nicer than the others, and particularly actually the one today I think is quite a clean looking sneaker, but still, like, if you took off the LeBron side of it, you'd just be like, man, that's just a very average looking sneaker, you know, the kind of thing that you'd pick up for 30 or 40 bucks, you know what I'm saying? And it's just for me, and that's just me, but I think I've worked out what the main reason is, and it might be to do with my OCD, or maybe I'm just a bit too sort of narrow in the way I think about the world and things like that. But I think I've worked out what it is about the particular one thing that I don't like about the Nike Lebron 17 lows. But having said that, there are a few details on this sneaker today that I'm going to enjoy bringing to you guys, because there are some really nice features on this, and it is quite a clean shoe. In a way, it actually reminds me of the Air Jordan 2 Dawn C's in this colorway, not in the blue colorway. And I don't know if you heard that, but my dog just was like in the corner over there. And so there's a lot going on with the sneaker, and I want to bring you those details and also tell you what it is about the Nike Lebron 17's lows. I've worked out what it is that I don't like about them. So today, let's have a close-up look at the Nike Lebron 17 low Easter. This is the Talking About a 23 Sneaker channel, Talking About a 23 Sneaker channel day. It's my Nichi episode all day, my Nichi meeting, because every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And usually these days I'm doing it in the middle of the night, and it's just after midnight on Monday. And this is Monday's video, so within 24 hours this video should be dropping, and people out there should be watching it. And it's a moment in Tokyo, a moment in Japan, or a moment in Tokyo in particular. We've reached this point. It's a seasonal point here. Japan actually has 5 seasons. Don't know if people know that, but one of them, the extra season is called the rainy season. And there's a point when spring doesn't quite get to summer, but the humidity goes way through the roof, and we're feeling that right now. We're going from like 22, 21 degrees, which is comfortable, up into the higher 20s, 27, 28, and the humidity is kicking in full hard. So from now on, it's going to be warm, and that means I'm leaving the window open behind the camera here, so hopefully there's not too much outside noise. But since we're in lockdown light, there's not really much traffic going on around out there. Actually, directly behind the camera, through the window behind the camera there, I can see a highway, one of the highways that runs through the middle of Tokyo here, and there's hardly a car on it, which is so unusual even at this time of night. But maybe that noise will come back as this lockdown sort of gradually wears off, as it is around the world. But that's not what we're interested in today. We're actually interested in the shoe itself and talking about what it is about Nike Lebron 17 lows in general that I don't like, and what it is about this Nike Lebron 17 low Easter that I actually do like. So first things first, I think I've worked it out, and it's got a lot to do with these guys right here. That is the Jordan 1 High satin shattered backboard, and it's a beautiful, beautiful shoe. I tried for these when they came out for a second time last April when the sneakers app first came out here in Tokyo, Japan, and they dropped again. I was so disappointed not to get my hands on them, but it's a beautiful shoe. But other than being a beautiful shoe, it's also got a counterpart in its low, and this is the thing, is that with the bronze 17s, it really bugs me that the high and the low are so far removed from each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this, the high there, the shattered backboard, the satin shattered backboard, and then here's a low variant of it. I think it's just the shattered backboard, not the satin side of things. But you can look at the toe box, you can look at the heel, you can look at the swoosh, the midfoot, all that kind of stuff. And basically what they've done is whoosh, they've cut off the top half of the sneaker, and the bottom half is almost identical. There's not really any change in there at all. It's easy to see in here because the colorway is identical with that shattered backboard motif going on. But then I thought, you know what, why don't we go with the dunks? SB Dunk highs, SB Dunk lows. So a recent one that I looked at was the reverse skunks, so you can see them behind me right here, and then a very easy colorway to compare that to. Totally different in colorway, but you can still see that high versus low sort of structure going on, is the infrared. I don't have anything that comes to mind where I can show you like the same colorway in the same way I did with the shattered backboards just now. But with the high skunks and then the low infrareds, you can see that basically, again, whoosh, they've just cut off the top half of the sneaker and kept most of the bottom half of the sneaker exactly the same. And that to me is the high and the low thing. Even when you go with mids in the Jordan line when they go to the mids as well, they predominantly keep the same structure of the sneaker. Now let's, I haven't thought about which shoe I'm going to do for this. I need a shoe, I need a, I've got it. I need a LeBron 17 high that's in a creamy beigey colorway to go with this this Easter 17 low that should be behind me right now. And you know, when I was just getting ready for this video, I put in my little notes to myself, you know, sale, it's so 2019. And it is, I mean, everything seemed to be sale last year. Sale midsole, sale outsole, sale upper, sale leather, sale tumbled leather. There's tons of different sale coloured sneakers, which is just a light tan to me. And then here we are with this colourway, and it's sale. Let's be honest, it is sale, even though some people are calling it bone. It is sale, and it's so 2019. But anyway, that's the low, right? And I need a creamy sort of tanny coloured high to go with that. So, and I'm just literally coming off the top of my head right now, my favourite 17 high. Now, before I show you it, I will tell you that 17 highs I'm a huge fan of. I absolutely love. I think it's a completely iconic sneaker. It definitely will stand alone, and it'll be one of those that we look back on in the same way that we look back on Jordan 3, 4, 5s, or we look at 11, 12, 13s. You're in this kind of iconic era of Jordans. The same thing I think is going to happen with these LeBron 17s. I think people are going to look back on them and they'll be nostalgic about it. They'll also say that was a really fire shoe. Totally took the whole line to a whole new level. Beautiful shoe. And the 17 that I want to compare to, the 17 high that I want to compare to today's lows are these right here. That's a Harlem Fashion Row, and it's the closest to a tan sneaker that I could think of in the 17 highs. Of course, there are some red hits on there, but basically, you know, it's a tan 17 high. And then if we flip that out and look at today's 17 low, there's no similarity whatsoever. Like the Jordan 1s high and low, it's identical, almost identical. I mean, there's some tiny variations because of the structure, you know, and there's no, you just can't get away from that. But basically, it's the same sneaker. Same with the SB Dunk highs and lows. And then if we with the 17 high and lows, it's totally different. You've got this iconic, beautiful 17 high sneaker, and then you go into this 17 low, and like I say, it just looks like if you took off the branding, took out LeBron, it just looks like a shoe that you could pick up for 30 or 40 bucks down at like your local, you know, whatever store. ABC Mart is what we have here. I think they have them in the rest of the world as well. But anyway, that to me, that's my reason why I'm not a huge fan of the 17s, mainly 17 lows, is because they just don't hold up against that 17 high. And I don't know why they didn't just cut the top off and do that. Maybe they couldn't with that upper on there, but that was their choice. But having said that, there are some things on this sneaker that I actually really like and I really, really dig. And it's the first time I've really gotten close up and looked at the upper, especially in the two sort of, there's one part, and I decided to call it like a perforated part. So hopefully I've zoomed in on the green screen and you can see that panel there with the perforations all the way through it. So that's a perforated part of the upper in material terms. But it's in color terms, it's the same as the next part of the upper that we'll go to, which is not perforated. And I decided to call this, again, this is just me, myself calling it this. I don't know if this is what other people call it, but I thought quilted. For some reason, this part of the sneaker looks quilted to me, and they're the two main features of the upper in terms of material, but they are identical on this shoe in terms of color. Now sometimes they play with that and you get some different colors with the 17 lows, but in the case of this shoe, it's pretty much predominantly all front to back, that tan or sail colorway. Now looking at some of the details on it, let's look at the swoosh on the lateral side. The medial side has a similar swoosh in that it's an outline and it's semi-iridescent. It's not too flashy iridescent, but the two things I like about it is, one, I like that outline style, and it's not like a second thing that's on top of the upper. It's an outline that kind of is embedded into the upper. And then the other thing I really dig about the Nike line, they do it with quite a lot of shoes right now, is when the swoosh dips into the midsole, like you can see it does here in the lateral. Now I'm stressing that about the lateral because when you flip these guys around and have a look at the medial, A, the swoosh is much smaller, the swoosh is much smaller, and B, it's higher up and it doesn't have that dip down into the midsole that I was talking about. Now the signature of this shoe, there's one signature in 3 places, and the signature is the two different colors. I think I read it was blue and orange, and the reason why I'm not so sure about that is because I didn't agree with them being called blue and orange. They're much they're not. I mean, the shattered backboards are orange. You know what I'm saying? But this isn't orange. And the same with the blue. It's just it's not really a blue. It's, I don't know. It's opaque, or there's a word for it that's just sort of a subtle blue or a dirty blue, or same with the orange. But anyway, the three different places that you can see that are number one is on the aglets, on the end of the laces. You can see that they have alternating blue and orange on there, which is a cool little feature. Number two, if we go right down to the forefoot. Now I'm calling this the outsole, because to me what this looks like is the outsole wrapping around before it becomes a midsole. You can see Nike React on there in those two colors as well. Now I don't know if I should call that the midsole or the outsole. To me it's the outsole, because it's part of the same physical part of the shoe as the outsole, even though it's kind of wrapped around and up the side where you would tend to call it the midsole. If anybody has a different way of calling that midsole or outsole, let me know. But Nike React in those two colorways there, colors there towards the forefoot on the outsole side, and I think that's on the lateral side, if I remember rightly. And then if we go to the back of the sneaker, the last place that we see that last place I found that two colorways is on the heel, where you can see the LeBron James, King James crown on the back of these guys. On one foot it's in the orange colorway, and on the other foot it's in that blue colorway. So nice details on there to offset that kind of beigey, tanny color, sail color to the whole shoe here. Now I haven't looked, I should have done this before I started the video, but I didn't look at the tongues. So I'll put up the tongues here so you can see them. And maybe because I looked at everything I could about this shoe, and it's the bits that jumped off at me, maybe the tongue's very bland because it didn't jump off at me, or maybe there's something on there that I've missed out on. But if I have, it'll be behind me right now. But I think, as far as I can tell, the tongue's pretty bland. The last thing I can do though is I can just jump up from the tongue and look into the insole, and you can see the insole is one color on both shoes. I thought maybe they could have gone with that alternating color, and the same with the aglets have blue and orange on them. They could have had blue in one and orange on the other, but I think they've gone with blue in both of them. So, but all in all, it's a nice looking shoe. It's clean. Like I said, it kind of reminds me of the Don C Jordan 2s, which I hadn't thought about until we started talking just now, and I'm not sure if it's to do with that quilted effect and the leather, you know, the way that they play off each other in the Jordan 2s, and then here we are with a kind of similar effect on this LeBron 17 low. But all in all, it's a pretty clean looking sneaker. I've never been a huge fan of the way that towards the back, towards the heel, above the air unit, you've got those kind of spikes that come up that create a crown effect, but they're kind of translucent. They look a bit cheap to me. Maybe they're expensive to make, but just that translucence about them, they look plasticky and kind of gimmicky to me. But anyway, I mean, other than that, actually it's a pretty cool shoe. Like I say, I'm not a huge fan of 17 lows, so there's not much chance of me going out and buying these things, and there is a huge chance that people are going to hit me up in the comments down below telling me that I'm wrong, but I'm not, because it's my opinion. Your opinion can never be wrong, because it's your opinion, but it can be different, and I don't mind if opinions are different. If you have a difference of opinion with me, tell me in the comments down below. For now though, time for me to sign off, and thank you guys for checking out my content. It's now rocked up to 12:26 on the clock up there, so time to finish this video up. I have to go edit it. I've got full-time work to do from home during this lockdown. I've got my little family as well who are sleeping next door already, so time to finish this day up. But as ever, you know, I do these daily drops every single day, and that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.